Hi, I'm Sunny, and if you're like me, you're hearing a lot of talk about artificial intelligence. NVIDIA is the greatest company in the world, buy all NVIDIA. DeepSeek is here, sell all NVIDIA, it's going to zero. To separate the truth from the hype, I kind of want to take a step back and talk about where AI actually relates, which is software. What we're really talking about when we're talking about artificial intelligence, we're talking about software, and we're talking about a portion of software. Now, in addition to intelligence, software has this other vector, which is called agency. So for the ability of the software to go do things on its own. Let's just simplify it. It's for the ability for the software to go do things on its own, right? And we're going to use this 2x2 technique, which is typically used in management and consulting, to understand where the hype lies in AI and where the truth lies in AI. So let's start with the first quadrant, low intelligence, low agency pieces of software. And what are those? Those are the Microsoft Words of the world, right? When you open up a Microsoft Word, you just get that cursor sitting there, and what Word is really requiring you to do is have the agency to tell it what you want to write about and actually go write it yourself. There's no intelligence there. You say, I want to write a piece of poetry, you start clacking away, and boom, you got a nice poem. You could spell check, maybe use grammar, very low level pieces of intelligence, but that's about it. You're bringing the agency, you're bringing the intelligence, and the software is just there to document what you're doing. Now, the high intelligence, low agency is the first wave of AI, and this is sort of the original ChatGPT, right? When ChatGPT first launched, you had to go into ChatGPT and you say, hey, write me an essay on 18th century art, and boom, write me an essay on 18th century art in the style of Stephen King. And it would generate the piece of content for you, and so it would bring the intelligence, right? But the agency and what you wanted it to do was all done by you. Now, this I think is truth. If you haven't used this at work or for homework or just as when you're thinking through a problem, right? And this doesn't have to be a work problem. This could be a problem in your personal life. It's amazing, right? So I think there's a lot of truth here, and this portion of AI is actually good to go. And if you notice what's happening in the markets, Google, Amazon, even Apple, they're building out clouds, which are infrastructure, to be able to do inference, which is take these models that are being built and provide you with the answer of what you're looking for, right? Give me that essay, give me that piece of poetry written in this style. So I think there's a lot of truth here. I think this ability to take what humans want and add intelligence to it is not hype. This is truth, and it's amazing. Now, where I do think there's a lot of hype is this notion of agents, right? So high agency and intelligent softwares. And before we get to sort of high intelligence, high agency, let's talk about high agency, low intelligence. And what are those? Those are the Google web crawlers of the world. So what does Google web crawler do? Every time a new website is populated or changes of websites are made, it scans through it. And based off of the words there, the cadence of the times that this website is being updated, it ranks you in search. Now, why is it low intelligence? There's a ton of SEO, search engine optimization companies out there that know how to game the system, right? Because web crawler isn't smart. If you just add a certain amount of words to it and you have a regular cadence of publication, you'll rank high, right? So web crawler is great, but it is low intelligence. Now, here's the thing where reason why I think agents are a little bit of hype. Most intelligent tasks can be broken down to small, dumber tasks. So let's go through an example. You're ordering something from Amazon, right? So you go to Amazon, you're like, I want to buy a coffee maker. It recommends to you coffee beans. Simple regression. It's not using some groundbreaking intelligence. It just says people who bought coffee makers, typically when I show them coffee beans, they say yes. So it doesn't even know those two things are actually what they are. It's just saying, coffee maker, coffee beans, good to go. They previously bought them, so I'm going to surface it to the next person. So you add it to your cart. You put your address in. Amazon sends a little ping to a map software. It says, yep, address exists. Then you put in your payment information. Amazon sends it through Stripe or Apple Pay, and it says, yep, accepted. Then you press purchase. And what's happening down in the Amazon warehouse, it's not humans going and picking through and looking for coffee in a coffee maker. Robots are doing that whole thing. A shipping label is being generated. The perfect size box is being selected. And what does a picker do? Well, they're adding all the stuff to a box, closing it, and sending it out. Now, why is the picker in the loop right there? Because we have dexterous hands. And guess what? Humans, as for the amount of throughput and work that they do, are relatively cheap. It doesn't it doesn't blow up your budget to have humans in the loop. So these highly intelligent tasks of like ordering something can mostly be broken down into these low intelligence, high autonomy tasks, right? And so, you hear a lot of VCs now talk about the world's gonna be magical. You're gonna be able to wake up and then, order coffee for yourself. That's a low intelligence, high agency task. I just have apps now. I could do that with Starbucks now, and go pick up my coffee. So, where do I think there's a little bit of truth in this agent world? High intelligence, high agency applications will be good for where you have to interface with humans, right? And so what do humans do? We bring a lot of bias. The way we speak is unstructured. Our thoughts are sort of unstructured. So here's two quick examples. When you're talking to customer service, let's say I have a Dyson vacuum cleaner, I kind of call in, I'm like, it's making this funny sound, but it's also kind of overheating. If I have to go through a set menu to kind of figure that out, that's very difficult for me as a person to do, because I wouldn't know what is a funny sound plus overheating. How do I equate that to these tasks that, numbers 1 to 9 and what Dyson is asking for me? If I just had a way of just talking to a AI, and I could say this is happening, and the AI could say, well, it seems like you're under warranty, kind of do all that sort of work for you. And I think what you're experiencing is a belt issue. Let me send you a new belt, and I'll send you some instructions. Great. And so that's where you did see a lot of the first initial wave of agents, right? There was a company who like outsourced their whole customer service department to AI, and people were like, this is it. Look, this is going to be the big job loss. And what you notice is past that, you haven't seen a lot of this, right? Why? Because if you have humans in the loop, which with agents and money flow, you're going to need to, because you're not going to just expect agents to go spend money on your behalf. You have slow throughput. And the minute you have high throughput tasks, guess what you do? You make them into intelligent, low intelligence, high agency tasks. You just kind of piecemeal them. And this also pertains to robots, by the way. People saying, no, well, it's going to fundamentally change robots. We have robots. Most of your cars are built by robots. Humans are just adding the seats and stuff. And there's a big misnomer in America where like, oh, our jobs are going to China. 80% of job loss in America has happened to automation. They're not going to China. They're just going away. They're not even in China. If you look at the 𝐤𝐤𝐽 factory in China where they're making their electric cars, 100% automated, right? And so this whole notion of robotics with high agency and high intelligence are going to be a thing. It's nonsense. So this is where a lot of the hype is. Agents, a lot of VCs are just pushing their books. They're trying to make this a thing because their whole thing is you need money flow through the system. But I do think high intelligence, low agency pieces of software, we just add intelligence to things that people are already doing. And again, this doesn't only pertain to, I gave examples that are highly superficial on writing documents and maybe liaising with a really intelligent being to solve like personal problems, but radiology, right? Like you could look through thousands of pieces of x-rays and an AI doesn't miss anything. It could kind of say, hey, doc, focus on this. This might be cancer. Low agency, doctors telling the AI what to do, but the AI could have intelligence and help the doctor. So stepping back, I think AI is going to be fundamentally game changing because intelligence has now become a commodity. If there's applications that people are currently using and you could add intelligence to so that they could get to the 80-90% completion rate faster, it's going to lead to productivity gains, not only amongst white-collar, blue-collar workers as well. You could do your documentations faster, you could liaise with clients faster. I think it's fundamentally an amazing thing. I think where you have a lot of hype is on this whole agents are going to now fundamentally change everything, and robotics is going to be, everyone's going to have 10 robots. You don't need that. Where you have a cost advantage, if you automate, you will do that. Again, 80% of job loss is not to China, it's been to automation. Only 20% has been to outsourcing to China and other countries. So hope this helps to kind of put, put AI in context. Great technology, but there's a lot of hype around it, do subscribe and let me know if you have any questions in the comments and what else you would like me to sort of break down into sort of this 2x2 landscape view. Thank you so much. My name is Sunny again, and it was a pleasure. Bye.